Bolina Show, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. It is Monday. It is our final hour together. The Louie Bolina Show, I've been excited for this. It is the return. I'm going to use the word legend, and if it doesn't apply, it does to me. The return of Dave Bartoo of the College Football Matrix. My brother, how in the wide world of sports has your world been?
Dude, I am doing awesome, having so much fun. Started dipping my toe into the NFL, and it was funny. I got a text this morning, right? I got to tell you this story real quick. It's funny as heck. So in the NFL's hard, okay, because there's 32 teams, and they all think they're smarter than everybody. Everybody. They're more myopic than college football. I mean, it's just brutal. And nobody thinks anybody from the outside knows what they're doing. But I get this call from director of R&D from the NFC West, right? And he's asking questions about the metric I discovered. In the past year, I figured out there's one metric that is bigger than all of them, bigger than turnovers, bigger than explosive plays, bigger than everything. In fact, I could probably pull up Mike Elko's record when he wins and loses the momentum game control. And so the Niners are like, hey, can we get a demo on this? I'm like, nah, this is knowledge. Dude, you buy it or build it. Pick your choice. But, man, you wouldn't believe how many of these NFL teams just want free information. So one of the things that we're going to do that I dip my toe in on the player side of it, you and I can go over some of these benchmarking for all these A&M players that got drafted this year.
Now, for people that don't know you, you've been hanging out with me, I think it's over a decade and a whole lot of change off and on. Why don't you just start by telling people, help people out? What is a college football matrix?
I tell stories with numbers. I'm not an X's and O's, guys. I'm not a coach. I'm not a player. I don't do any of that stuff. I just take numbers and try to tell the story of college football and the NFL and life. To me, life is just one big giant database. When you run that yellow light in your mind, you think, okay, all this data, can I make it or not? Right? I mean, you're basically projecting life analytics throughout your lifetime. So I just apply it to college football and the NFL and try to have fun doing it while entertaining you all, telling good stories with it.
So you've been doing this for college forever. What slid you into the NFL world? Did you want to mix it up? Did you have a eureka moment?
I don't know. I think I'm always up for a new challenge, right? I'm always up for a new challenge. I get bored really easy. My attention wanes very easily. And I think one of the things that got me into the NFL is I wanted to see where it was similar and where it was different to college football because, my thought was it's a very similar game because it's football, but it's very, very different in the way it's coached and played. And so I'm having fun trying to find those minute differences, the way timeouts are managed, the way plays are called, the way the game is managed, different numbers that mean different things. So they really are two separate performance leagues, even though they're playing the same game.
And what you did, if I understand correctly, and you'll help smooth out the points, is that you have come up with like a rookie projection model for the top draft picks of this year's draft.
Yeah, well, actually, all of them. That was the funny thing. So I got this text the other day. It's about 2 weeks ago from RJ Choppy, and he's one of the hosts for Dallas 105.3, the Cowboys flagship. And they were talking about Caleb Downs, big buzz name down there right now, and for good reason. Their defense
he's going to save the franchise.
30 seconds in absolute garbage. And they drafted this safety, and they were trying to, say how many tackles and sacks and interceptions. And he's like, hey, could you help me out? So it took me about 2 days, but I took every draft pick of the last almost 15 years, and I broke it down by when they were drafted, first half of the first round, second half of the first round, and then added all the numbers up, right? And so what is your peer group benchmark what does it take to be a top 10 draft pick at your position statistically over the last 12 years. And so I started going through these for Dallas. I did a show last week on the Raiders, and one of the guys that came up was Texas A&M lineman. I'm like, hey, I can do these as a group for the Raiders and the Cowboys and all these NFL teams. Why don't I do them as a group for college football? So I pulled out all the A&M guys and said, I'm hitting Louie, seeing if he wants to do this.
And I'm like, oh, heck yeah. Let us start at the top. Casey Concepcion, first-round pick, Cleveland Browns. And take it from there and explain how you approach this to come up with your projection.
Okay, let's start with Casey. He was picked, and Louie, correct me when I'm wrong, okay? To be able to do all of this, I use 4 different AIs because they all lie and cheat and never give me the right information. They're horrible unless you make them work against each other. And then they just argue for days to come up with it. So I hope this is dead on. So round 1, pick number 24 to the Browns. So his peer group is wide receivers, bottom half of the first round, pick 17 through 32. That's his peer group. And there's been 32 wide receivers drafted in that peer group since 2012. So that's what I'm looking at for KC. So there's a big difference between games played and games started at this peer group level. Now understand, the NFL's at 17 games. Most of this information is 16-game season. Okay, so you kind of set your numbers, you expect your expectations accordingly. But games played, the average in this group is 14.5. So 14.5 out of nearly 16 games. So if Casey is healthy, he's going to be in the game every single Sunday. Every single Sunday. That's just average, okay? But starts is 10. So if KC, if he can hit that 11th start, he is now above average for his entire peer group over the last 14 years. So if you're a KC fan and you want to see, set a benchmark for him that's not ridiculous, obviously you want to see him play 17 games. 10 plus is where you really want him to be for your peer group.
And that starts,
right? Games played, he's going to be in every single game, okay? But starts, now, the top 10 wide receivers taken since 2012, every single one of them started every game that season. There's been at least 10 guys that have been drafted that start all 16 games. So, somewhere between 10 and 16. Once he hits 10, if I am the Cleveland Browns, if I am a Texas A&M Casey Concepcion fan, I'm going, okay, this guy is paying off as a better draft value than average already.
Now, furthering, when I was taking a look, because Dave hooks you up. You sent me like the profile cards for him. The expectation of yards is about what, 567?
Yep, that's the average for his peer group. So you take those 32 picks, they average 567 yards a season. So if Casey gets his 10 starts and gets above 600 yards, boom, pay dirt. You look right below that, you see that average touchdown?
3.
Right. 3, right? So if you said, Dave, give me a really good line in the stand for Casey. Start 10 games, catch 50 balls, because the average in his peer group's 48. So we got 10 games, 10 starts, 50 catches, 600 yards, 3 or 4 touchdowns. Right. Once he gets there, he is providing plus draft value.
What makes me chuckle is there's so many applications of this, but for, let's just say, the average Joe, fantasy football, brother. Seriously, I looked at this and I went, every fantasy football junkie would kill to have your profile chart.
No, well, they can have it. See, I started MatrixEdgeAI.com. It's $5 to subscribe. It's nothing but NFL. And you're exactly right, because I was just looking at Lemon at Philadelphia. Same draft profile, right? And his expected yards. You also have yards betting total. So you got fantasy. Now, here's the cool thing with fantasy. We haven't got into it yet, but I have every schedule graded by the quality of the offensive coordinator versus the quality of the defensive coordinator. If you do fantasy, I break out the entire NFL schedule by the quality of the guys going against each other every weekend.
Which then, lets you make your week-to-week decisions. Now, the number 2 Aggie taken was Chase Besantis, round 2, and he went to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this projection model changes quite a bit for linemen.
Yeah, it is, because we don't have tackles, right? We don't have.
And I should say O-linemen specifically, but it changes quite a bit.
Yeah, it changes quite a bit. So with Chase, I didn't look up. This particular one didn't show where he is. Is he projected inside lineman? Is he a guard or is he tackle?
A protected interior, yes.
Okay. So his peer group. So he was picked 34. So he's in round 2. Games and starts. So for Chase, he's going to play 15 games. He might play every single game. If he's healthy, he's going to play all the games. That is what a second-round lineman pick does, is he plays games. Now, when is he going to start? This will probably depend on 2 things, the quality and the depth at the Arizona Cardinals. But if he's good enough to start, the numbers say his peer group averages 13 starts. This is second round, too, right, Louie? This is second round. Average second-round interior lineman starts 13 games a season. This is 73 offensive linemen. This is a big data set. So if Chase is healthy and he is going to be a starter, I think he'll take over by game 3 or 4 and start the rest of the season. That is going to be average for his pick position.
That'd be the worst case. Like, depending what's in front of him, you beat someone out. The high end, of course, is 17. But at some point early first month of the season, he should take over. And like you said, play 15, kind of as the men, right? Oh, 13.
Yeah.
Sorry, as the men.
15 is the average. Obviously, look, guys get hurt. Violent sport. You know, so we got second-round picks that had no starts and no games played, or one game played and got hurt. So, but for Chase, let's stay positive. I think by the end of September, if he's going to be a starter, I think he'll be in. And once he goes in as a starter and stays healthy, I don't think he comes out the rest of the season.
Now, we stay on the line. We go to the defensive side. Cassius Howell also went in round 2, but to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, not too far behind Cassius either, man. Number 41 to the Bengals. Again, our peer group here, folks, is edge rushers in the second round. There's been 27 of them taken in the last 13 years. Now, here, this is a total. Remember how we just said the average offensive lineman in the second round starts 13 games?
Yep.
The average edge starts 1.
Really?
Isn't that fascinating, right? I mean, I think it's so cool, but guess what? You know how many, what's the average games played? Well, you got the cheat sheet in front of you, 15 games played.
I knew that because of the way they rotate in 2 lines, if not even 3 deep, because they can only play a limited number of snaps because of the wear and tear. So I knew the play would be really high, even if the starts were really low. That makes sense.
Right. So we expect Cassius to be in the game a lot. Second down, third down, not necessarily a regular starter. Now, if he's good enough to be a 3-down starter at end, then he has massive draft value. Once he hits that 1 start, if he gets 2 or 3 on merit, not off somebody else getting injured, man, now all of a sudden that draft value is an edge. But really what we want is Cassius to be healthy and start 15, 16, 17 football games. You know, and accordingly, we don't have huge numbers for sacks, quarterback hits, tackles for loss, and forced fumbles. You know, so again, we're benchmarking. Once he hits that second sack, if he gets there, boom, big draft value. Once he hits that 10th, actually more like 8 quarterback hit. If he can hit the quarterback once every other game, boom, good draft value. And any forced fumble he causes, that is money in the bank as a defensive end in the second round.
So, Dave, am I looking at this right? Being the second round D-line, and this isn't a Cassius Howell thing, he's not going to have a lot of stats on the sheet, but if he can do chaos rate, he'll have high value.
Exactly. Stay healthy, be in there, contribute. You know, every 4th, 5th game, hell, every 6th game, if he gets a sack, that is draft value. These guys, it appears, take a while to develop. Second, third round defensive ends aren't immediate starters, aren't immediate impact. Now, on the flip side, if he is immediate impact, then the Cincinnati Bengals are going, boom, we got huge value getting this Aggie at number 41.
There's two more Aggies I wanted to do with you. One, I would say he was the biggest surprise. Not that he got drafted, but where. And it was the tight end, Nate Burkitcher, second round to the Jaguars.
Yeah, number 56. Now, you look at the numbers. This is a great place to get picked. We're expecting some good production out of Nate. Now, not a full-time starter, okay? 15 games, he's going to get in there on certain packages, but we expect him to be in the football game every single game if he is healthy. Now, starts, if he's going to take over as a starter, on average, it's about week 8, 9, 10. That's what we're looking at for Nate. So if you got Nate on your board and you're rooting for him, go, okay, that would be probably mid-November, would be week 10. So sometime in November, if he gets in as the starter on merit, not injury, if he gets in as a starter, that's going to be above average. Once he hits that seventh start, the Jacksonville Jaguars are getting pay dirt with this guy. Average receptions, 26. Average receiving yards, 244. So we're talking 2 catches a game, about 20 yards a game. That is going to be good draft value out of Nate for the Jaguars.
So week 8 is development then. Tight end position, because it's not Nate, it's the model, it's tight end in this slot, in this round. It's a developmental thing.
It is, because if you look at the top 10 tight ends taken in the last 13 years, okay, the top 10, the bottom of the top 10, you got 12 starts. Okay, so the middle of his group is 7. So once Nate hits 12 starts, if he hits 12 starts for the Jaguars, that is top 10 of all rookie tight ends in the last 14 years. Okay, top 10 for receptions. His peer group is 26. Once he hits 45, he is top 10. Yards, we said 244. He doubles up that. Look, top 10 in receiving yards as a tight end rookie is only 552 yards in the last 14 years. So you want to talk about really rooting for Nate. Start double digits, 40-plus receptions, 500-plus yards, 4-plus touchdowns. That is a top 10 profile, statistical profile of tight end draft picks of the last 14 years.
Dave, let's grab a quick timeout, come back. 2 more Aggies, both same round positions, so that's going to be pretty easy. And then I want to sneak in a couple of Texans and Cowboys for you.
Copy.
Dave Bartoo is back. The college football matrix, numbers, analytics, and he still speaks human. Go figure. It is the Louie Bellina Show. Inside the Charles Schwab studio, I sit, and the air conditioner stills work. The Louie Bellina Show, Monday on The Zone.
Sign up for the Zone newsletter and always be in the know about that day's guest lineup, where and when your favorite team plays, and more. Sign up at zone1150.com.
We're hanging out. We're getting knowledge dropped on us like bricks by Dave Bartoo of the College Football Matrix. Hey, Dave, where can people go if they just want to check out kind of everything you do, whether it's NFL, college, assistance for their fantasy team, but they just want to check out more of you in the College Football Matrix?
Well, if you want to connect with me, Twitter is always the best social media, CFB Matrix. Direct messages are open. Text line 971-217-8419. Be nice, but send me any questions, comments, ideas. And certainly for subscribers, I got a Patreon account, CFB Matrix. And on the NFL side, it is matrixedgeai.com is the website.
And Twitter, you're just at CFB Matrix?
Yep.
That's
CFB
so
Matrix.
simple, too.
Yeah, and there's a Matrix Edge Twitter as well that I oversee, and that's the NFL side of things.
I have followed Dave on Twitter X for about 100 years, whatever it's been now. And I'm a college football junkie, hardcore style. And Dave at 3 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon just spits out, I had a thought, so I sat down and did 48 hours of research, and here's what I found out. So if you love the game, at CFB Matrix, make it a part of your college football experience. Dave, there were 2 Aggies taken in the 3rd round. Tyler Onyedem, Albert Regis, both D linemen. Onyedem, Denver Broncos, Regis, Jacksonville Jaguars will both be in 3rd round defensive linemen. It's the same projection model, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. Both being defensive linemen, that's exactly what you're going to get out of that.
And they're both defensive tackles. So what can we expect year one from both of them? I'm fascinated by both of them. Onyedem came on amazingly. Albert Regis is this rock, man. He's exactly what you think classically. I can't wait to see them both.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm expecting a little bit more. I think from an opportunity standpoint, I like Denver a little bit more than Jacksonville. And let me tell you why. When I go over to my NFL defensive play caller rankings, I got the Broncos last year, strength of schedule adjusted at number 6. Okay, so you got one guy walking into a wicked good defense. Here's the other thing, though, and I didn't realize it as I am talking, Jacksonville was number 4.
So both are going to great. No advantage either way. They're both money.
I mean, other than going, okay, Texans, Vikings, Seahawks, the next 3 best defenses last year, in my opinion, were Jaguars with Campanelli, Shula and the Rams, and the Broncos and Vance Joseph. So Albert and Tyler, man, I think they both landed in excellent places to excel. And, yes, their projections are going to be remarkably the same. I think, number one, no surprise here, top of the third round, these guys, on average, their peer group plays in 15 games.
Man, that seems like a lot. Third round defensive tackles, defensive linemen. But it, traditionally speaking, right, first 3 rounds of the NFL, you're supposed to play.
Yeah, they're playing. These guys are playing. Now, what's interesting is their peer group averages more starts than the second round defensive end.
Yep. I see it. D-tackle
right.
Depth and D-tackles don't necessarily, am I correct? You got to help me, brother. They're not first-round picks unless they're so elite, so D-tackles kind of get pushed back a bit.
Yep. See, it all makes sense, mentally. Now, once they hit 2 starts, whether it's Albert or Tyler or both of them, 2 starts is your baseline line in the sand for starts. Tackles, we're talking interior linemen, man. These guys don't tackle a lot, so pay dirt on both of these guys is going to be hitting 20 tackles plus. So more than 1 tackle in a game. These guys are producing benefits. Once they hit their first sack, producing benefits. Couple tackles for loss on the season, again, producing benefits. These guys, there's not a lot asked of them, it appears on paper. Get in there, don't make mistakes, clog up the middle, let the other guys do the jobs.
But 15 games, they're going to get a lot of chances to not screw up.
They are going to get serious PT in what should be 2 top 10 defenses. So, I mean, if you're an Aggie fan, you got to be excited where these 2 landed in terms of opportunity and development.
Dave, couple of Texans, couple of Cowboys, and look, we're going straight prime time, the top end of their draft, because that's the ones that everybody are, kind of fixated off. You mentioned Caleb Downs, number 1 pick, number 11. High end for the Dallas Cowboys. He is going to lead them to 10 Super Bowls. He's going to lead them to the promised land. What's a projection for a safety pick number 11?
Okay, this is some cool stuff here, right? Because he was picked number 11. Now there's only been 6 safeties picked in the top half of the draft in the last 13 years. 6 of them. And their expectations are much lower than the bottom half of the first round and the top half of the second round safeties. So I don't like looking at Caleb relative to his peer group, because get this, his peer group averages 10 starts. How many Cowboy fans are going to be mad if he doesn't get above 10 starts?
I think the phrase is they'd go ape.
Yeah, exactly. Lose their ass, dude. Absolutely. So I'm kind of throwing out the averages on these guys, but it shows you that these guys don't produce that much. Average tackles from a safety in the first 16 picks, okay, 67. Man, that's not good enough. Okay, let's go up to the top 10 safeties, 91. So I think Caleb Downs somewhere, he needs to be between 68 and 91 tackles to be plus value taken at this point. Start-wise, I think we'd agree, coming off of the worst defense in the NFL last year, unequivocally, if he's healthy, he's starting all 16 games. Interceptions, once he hits number 2, that's pretty good. Pass defended, once he hits 10, that's kind of a benchmark. So for me with Caleb, start all the games. Once he's above 80 tackles, that's solid. 2 picks and a dozen passes defense. That is going to be good value for the Cowboys at pick 11.
Taking the information that you have given us, is it very simply just maybe obviously that's why you don't take a safety that high?
Or it is simply the narrative that guys don't get taken high at safety, and there's a lot of early first-round value that gets pushed into the late first round, and there's a lot of first-round value that get pushed into the second round. That's kind of a common draft narrative for safeties. So a lot of these NFL teams, I'm finding out, they don't do the right thing. They do what everybody else is doing for fear of being wrong.
Yep.
Okay. This is why big brands like an Alabama or a Georgia or an Ohio State or a USC in the first 10 years of this century get massively overdrafted because of GM. People won't go, oh, dude, that linebacker sucked. I believe he's from USC. That's okay. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, he took the Rice linebacker just because he was higher value than the USC. That's dumb. See, it's the number one rule of being an AD and a GM is keep your job. So a lot of these guys do the same thing as everybody else. One of them might be don't draft safeties in the first half of the first round.
Cowboys took 2 first-round picks. The other one at number 23, edge from UCF, Malachi Lawrence.
Yeah, well, we got down. Let's hit we'll hit the Texans. Well, Texans, do they have 2?
Texans had 1 first-round pick. They had Kalen Rutledge, guard at number 26 from Georgia Tech.
Oh, okay. So and he's the interior lineman, offensive lineman as well. Okay, so here's the simple. When you're a first-round interior lineman, exterior, doesn't matter. You're an offensive lineman, you start every game. You play every game, you start every game. So if Rutledge isn't in there starting every game, bad draft value. Ooh. I can tell you that right now. I mean, in his peer group, there have been 14 offensive linemen, interior linemen, taken in the bottom half of the first round. Okay? Average starts, 17. Average games, 17.
That is straight. Of all the things we've talked about today, that has been the most straightforward of any positional pick round anything. That's the most straightforward.
Oh yeah, I mean it is like Rutledge. You better be starting every bloody game that's out there. And then their second pick, it was McDonald out of Ohio State. This is a defensive lineman, okay, and so we kind of went over those things. Plays a lot of games, not a lot of starts. At 1 tackle per game, 1 sack on the season, a couple quarterback hits. Not a lot is expected out of those defensive linemen other than being a really quality rotational player. Who was that last guy for the Cowboys, you said?
First round pick at 23, the edge from UCF, Malachi Lawrence.
Oh, that's right. Well, I could.
So an edge rusher in the back half of the first round. The expected starts, expected games, expected production.
Yeah, so with him, again, he's an edge. And so these edge guys, the real value in the edge is always in the first round. Okay, or in the first half of the first round. And so he is going to, again, peer group, start and play every single game. Every single game. In fact, the edge is not too dissimilar than the second round edge, the bottom of the first half. It's those first 15, 16 picks, edges that you expect to start all the football games and have super high value. So with Lawrence, everything is compressed down a little bit. Play every game, start 3 games, a little bit more, right? But he is not. They're not going to ask the guys even taken late first round. They're not going to ask a lot of them. Once he hits 5 sacks, man, they are mining gold with that guy. Once he hits 35 plus tackles, again, it's a really good draft value. So those defensive ends, into the first, top of the second, bottom of the second, play every game, try to get some starts in there. Every sack they get basically is gold in terms of draft return value.
We've talked about so many things. Guard, first round, period 17. And I will say the other thing for me, positionally speaking, 1 through 16 first round edge, you're starting 17, and then you just move that one spot, and you're starting 2. Now, you're going to play every game, but still, such a radical difference. Hey, Dave, got to roll. But, man, knowing I get to talk to you next Monday, and Monday we're going to be like SEC college football coaches, grades, and other such things. And, man, it is just fun to hang out and talk with you again, brother. You've been missed.
Oh, yeah, no, it's good. I look forward to talking to SEC offense and defensive coordinators. And speaking of projections in Dallas Cowboys, I'll leave you with this nugget. George Pickens, minus 110, fantasy football or betting. It is 1,025 yards. I have him projected at 1,204 plus 179. George Pickens, over 1,025 yards in 2026.
Heavy over. Be awesome, brother. Talk to you next week. Later. Dave Bartoo, College Football Matrix, hanging out with us on the D4 Land Services hotline. And again, he'll be back next Monday, and we're going to get into SEC coaches, and that's coordinators, positional, and more. A&M coaches did quite, and I mean, quite well. Holman Wiggins is the number one rated wide receivers coach. There's so much more. Next Monday, Dave Bartoo will return on the D4 Land Services hotline. Do you need help with your land? Getting it fixed up? Land clearing, excavation? D4landservices.com. Forestry, mulching, pond construction, metal buildings. Visit D4landservices.com. I'll be right back.
The Houston Astros play on the zone. Thanks to Kelly Berdozer.
I got a text message here from Blake/Jay. How does he have 2 names? I mean, over my lifetime, I've had 3-4 names. So what can I say? I have my real name that's on my driver's license, Louie, which at the age of 1 I was given. You know, when I first got into radio, way back in the day, I was on a 92.1 FM KTSR. And you know what my first radio name was? Jeanette, what was your first radio name? Or have you always went by, oh no, she's smiling. She had something awful like Sarah Fly Girl or something.
You want my first one or my favorite one?
I can go do both.
First one was Jenna Lee Thompson.
Jenna Lee Thompson. Okay, that's
Just
fine.
Pulled that out of the thin air. And then Mackenzie Crash.
That one's radio though. Yeah. The Crash.
I did traffic.
That was Crash, I get it. That's so awful.
What was yours?
Oh, Dave Wolf.
Where'd you come up with that?
Diamond David Lee Roth and Howling Wolf.
The Howling Wolf of what?
That was a blues musician.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a Diamond David Lee Roth and Howling Wolf. So it's Dave Wolf. And now, I liked the name the whole time until I got on this Sunday night late show in which we were a variety show and we just played our own music. It was awesome. And then they started playing this wolf sound effect every time I said my name, and it made me hate the Dave Wolf part.
Aw, that's
because the sound effect. I'm like, no, now you made me cheesy.
They didn't make you cheesy.
I do it myself. No, but I needed time to develop that skill of making myself cheesy. But
right.
Oh,
see, there you go. Oh, bring back the Wolf Man.
No thanks. Hard pass. Thank you. But yeah, I've had 3 different names in my lifetime, and yeah. Anyway, Jay Blake Jay. How do you have 2 names, dude? Anyway, he said, Louie, this is great analysis. Dave's the best. Okay, I have been blessed in my lifetime of the Louie Bellina Show in radio. And I seek people that make me think, seek people that don't bring their biases into conversations and have opinions. I don't care if they're mine or not. And you get a Joe Sheehan of the Joe Sheehan newsletter who came in from the Baseball Prospectus gang. Dave Bartoo of the College Football Matrix. Mitch Light is a highly critical thinker who's freaking brilliant. Braden Gall is a radical thinker. And you get these national, regional, state, and local perspectives. That is always what the goal was. They don't have to agree with me. They don't have to be pro A&M. They can't be anti. I don't want someone whose position is they hate by default. And they don't have to be pro by default. They just need to have a point of view, analysis, some kind of higher level thinking. Dave Bartoo is brilliant. The College Football Matrix, the work he does is scary. And like I said, there's been athletic departments that have hired him to do the analysis stuff. It's incredible. Thank you, Blake J. Louie, this is a great analysis. Dave is. His analysis is unfreaking real. And he'll be back next Monday. I'm going to share a secret with everyone that even Dave Bartoo doesn't know. I'm going to try very hard to get him to return for this fall. He was with me for years, like the once a week, and we would analyze the week that was and take a look at the games ahead. And with him doing it his way, holy cow. But Dave, I don't know if you know his whole story, is an entrepreneur. He runs like 3 businesses. He's also a hunter. He's an incredible cook. Like, he does everything. And he goes through these spurts where he is 1,000,000% into, and he'll do like 100 radio hits. ESPN used him, all kinds of stuff. And then he's like, that's not what I'm doing right now. He's an incredibly fascinating dude. So, I haven't told him that yet, before him. Want to see if he can, join us once a week. Talk college football. We'll see where he's at. Man, I'd love to have him back. If not once a month at least, but we got to have him back. He's too good. 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. You can light up the Texas Mobile and Loop Express inbox. Astros Rangers the weekend that was. Astros took 2 out of 3. They won another series. Friday, 9-3. Astros win. Altuve hit his 8th. Pena hit 2 bombs, his 6th and 7th of the year. I may go 6-3. I will take that every day of the week. Sign up on the bottom line. Mike Burrows in relief through a scoreless 9th. The former starter, they skipped him, and slot angle. That's been the whole story. What's wrong? Slot angle. In the Friday night game, Altuve, I mentioned, went yard. Hit his 8th, went 2 for 4 RBIs. Paredes with 2 hits too. Saturday, the Spencer Arrighetti question. He was the pitcher of the month in May, and he's had a rough. He went 6 innings, 6 runs. He gave up 3 dingers in the game. To say he took the loss is me being kind. To 8-1, Cleveland ties the series. I got the Spencer Arrighetti breakdown. If you go to his, not just May, his first 8 starts, 1.34 ERA. So April, May. First 8 starts, 1.34. Anybody want to take a guess what he's done in his last 4? 6.95. And each start, he's noticeably kind of sliding backwards. Now, his ERA for the year is a 3.13. Is he tired? Is he wearing down? Has the league figured him out? Is his slot angle off? Is he the next pitcher to go on the IL? I have not seen any analysis yet. But let's figure it out, because with Hunter Brown back, Arrighetti needs to be the 2. Even though all the models say that he's a great 3. I'll take it. Sunday, 2-1. Astros win, take the series. Tang 6-1. Brilliant. Josh Hader, who has been nothing short of phenomenal since he returned. Alvarez hit his American League leading 25th homer of the year. 1 for 2 RBI. They just walked him twice after that. Yordan. Who's your daddy? Yordan on Father's Day. That's who. 2-1. Astros win a pitcher's duel. I will tell you, and last year, August, as the Astros could not hold off the Mariners for the AL West and missed the playoffs. And there was about 7 reasons why they didn't make the playoffs. I will still say, like Jordan didn't play the whole year, that was one of the reasons, right? If Hader would have stayed healthy and they had Hader the whole month of September, that's all they would have needed. They would have won the West. They would have made the playoffs if Hader just would have stayed healthy. There were 7 reasons. There is no one why. If you add it all up, they could have won the West by 10 games. But Hader, no Hader in the final month, that was the stake in the vampire heart, which you don't do a lot of anymore. Dagger, final nail coffin, all that stuff. Yordan Alvarez announced after the game he will not participate in the home run derby. Thank you. With the Astros' luck, Yordan would go to the home run derby, twist a rib, and be out for 2 years. So I'm happy he's not going. So with the win yesterday, Astros take the series, and they're now 37-42. They've won 3 straight series, 17 of their past 28, which 17-11. I will tell you, if they play 17-11 baseball the rest of the way, they're going to win the West by probably like 7 games. Can they keep up that pace? They're healthy. Next up, Christian Javier returns Sunday. It's not official, but everyone knows he's returning Sunday. Mike Burrows is going to start Wednesday. They skipped a start, relief Friday. Maybe he's figured out a slot angle. Sure, okay. Astros are a 6-man rotation. You're going to see some of these starters in the bullpen. Ronel Blanco is about to return. Lance McCullers is about to return. So arms in the pen are about to get deep with starters. So the burnout in the bullpen is about to be relieved too. This is the point. 17-11. And the offense is as healthy as it'll be all year, which is scary when you take a look at Altuve, Cam Smith, worst outfield in baseball. There's a lot of bad in this Astros offense, but they're in the AL West. They're 3 back. Take a look at the AL West standings as we woke up this morning. They're 3 back, but they're the only team to have a winning record in the last 10 in the AL West. They're only 5 games below 500 when you consider how bad it's been. Up next, Astros are on the road all week long. Toronto, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Hunter Brown tonight. Peter Lambert Tuesday. Mike Burrows back in the rotation. Is it for now? Will they bump them with, again, coming back? Christian Javier is going to start Sunday in Detroit. Will they go at 6? 6-man rotation. All TBD to be considered. But Burrow's back in the rotation for the Wednesday start. Christian Javier goes Sunday. So Hunter Brown Monday, Lambert Tuesday, Burrows Wednesday. It's a 4-game series in Detroit. So Thursday's Aime. Friday's Arrighetti. Got to figure it out. Hunter Brown Saturday, Javier Sunday, back home a week from today. Astros made a trade. Jaden Murray to the Cubs. Minor league first baseman Cameron Cisneros. Over the weekend, I don't know, depends on who you believe, but I saw this reported all over the place. The Astros have signaled that you cannot trade for Yordan Alvarez or Christian Walker. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but those two, the Astros have signaled. So they're buyers. That's what they signaled. They're buyers. But do not inquire any more about Yordan and Christian Walker. And they're buying. I'm an Astros fan, so I'll just go with the let's go Tom Brady then. Because if we're going to buy, all right, let's go. That is the Crane way. Just year to year. Yeah, I tell you what, though, and this is me trying to make the best of it, it's better than being like a Pirates fan or a Baltimore fan where they don't try and they build and build and build just to not do anything about it in the end. There's so much worse ways to be. Look across MLB, okay? But Band-Aid to a neck wound. This IL thing as an Astros fan has gotten fatiguing. When we come back, got to wrap up the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. We got to wrap up the Louie Bellina Show Monday here on The Zone.
The Louie Bellina Show.
Who is it?
Participation is rewarded. The Ticket Booth is brought to you by Dixie Tire Company. Listen in weekdays 11 to 2 on The Zone.